Hi there, this is Trailrider 570. Today we're going to be doing a full service on this Ranger 500 EFI. We're going to be servicing differentials. We're going to be doing servicing the air filter, oil change, everything. So we'll get with you in a few. Thank you very much for watching. We'll get with you after this. Okay, right now we're going to get ready to drain the differential. I've already loosened the cap. I got the plug. This is where you get tricky because I don't want to put this up on jack stands. I want to have the unit set and level because of filling it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going down here and I'm going to pull the plug and try to not make a big mess of it. And here it comes. There it is. We're going to let it go ahead and drain until it quits running out. You can see how runny this stuff is. It's almost like water. And that's why you got to use this in the front end because of the electric clutches. Because the heavier oil, the magnetic fields won't work through it as well. So you get because the magnetics that are involved in shifting this in four-wheel drive, the fluid has to be thin. So that's why they use a thinner fluid in the front. And I'm just going to hang here because this is a thinner fluid, so we'll just hang here and then we'll I'll reinstall the plug. Then we'll fill it, but we'll stop here for now, and we'll get set up when we're ready to fill it. Because all I do is reinstall the plug, and it does have a magnet right here, and you can see if I take my finger, rub on it. You see that right there? That is just metal and stuff there. From it's a low mileage unit, so that's a little bit of metal and everything else from just being used. Nothing bad. There's no, little bearings, little bit of gear wear and everything else. So these you do want to make sure you clean these off. You see it right there. You can see all over my hands, fingers here too. You can see how dark it is. That's just a little bit of metal in there from things being broke in, basically. So that's all good. Just like that. We'll go ahead and reinstall this and put it in the right hole here. Just like that. I'll reinstall it, then I'll see you on the top side. So you can go ahead and turn on. Okay, what I got, because it's hard to get, I got a rubber hose. We're going to stick it in a hole. Then I got a really small funnel up here, and we're going to fill it until I see fluid come out of that hole down there. Then when it comes out, I'm stopping. I'm going to reinstall the plug, wipe it down, and we're good. But we're going to use, like I say, we're going to use the Polaris on-demand fluid right here. Make sure you use the right stuff in this front differential. Otherwise, it could be bad. And what I do, if you notice, I poked a little small hole in the seal because one of these bottles will do like 3 differential changes on one of these units. So, and it's easier to have a small hole than take the whole seal off. So then we're just going to go ahead and just slowly work it in there. Like I say, this stuff's like water, so it's flowing down the hose right now as we speak. Where's that flashlight? I'll grab it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get a flashlight too so I can keep an eye on them. What's that?
That light over there is creating a glare.
So what we're doing is way down there, I hope you can see it through the flashlight. That's where we're filling. That's a fill hole for it. And I'm going to slowly pour it until we see it run out. And it doesn't hold a whole lot. When we see the on-demand run out, we know we got it at the proper level. Back in the days, they give you a measurement how many ounces to pour in there, but now you just do it till it comes out the hole. And right now, I'm starting to see fluid on the skid plate. See it running down it? You can see it kind of running down it right there. So we're where we need to be. They don't hold a whole lot. So now I will quick pull this out. We may get some fluid running out after it. See it running out right now? That's okay. Then I'm going to go reach down here. I'm going to install this plug right now. This is the messy part. There's not an easy way of doing this without making a mess. And I just start that, then I get my Allen wrench with a ball end on it. I'll go ahead and we'll tighten that up. The ball end helps because it's just an odd angle. It's a hard angle to get to. Each machine is different. My 570's a little easier to get to than this one is. So we'll use a ball end just to get it close, then we'll switch it over and we'll tighten it up in it. Then this connector, don't be careful with that. I mean, don't be careful. Be careful with that because that's for your electric clutch for your four-wheel drive. So you don't want to break that wire, whatever you do. And of course, it's right in the way. Just like that. We got her tight and they're all back in. Now I'm gonna wait it here for a few minutes while I clean up all the messes, and then we gotta go to the back. Cause it's, yeah, you can talk. I'm not recording. I don't know why you're saying.
And it turned.
Well, you look for the red.
Okay.
Okay, now on the back, we already cracked this plug loose. And there's a drain plug in the bottom, right about there. And I cracked both tubes. And this takes AGL. So we're going to drain this and we're going to refill it with AGL. Roughly 2 quarts. This is a smaller unit. I know mine takes 2 quarts. This may take a little less. We'll just play it by ear. Same thing goes. We're going to fill it through here until the oil runs out the threads, then we stop. So we'll get with you in a few. There it goes. Okay, now what we're doing, we already drained it, and now what I'm doing is I'm tightening the drain plug, which is right in this area. just like that. And remember, the drain plug has a magnet. The fill plug doesn't have the magnet. So the drain plug is always the bottom plug. And clean the magnet off when you have it out. You'd be surprised how much fluid these really don't have in them. Put the sodium light here. There, that better. Okay, now we're going to try to put, see, this is a bigger hole than the front, so now I can stick this funnel in there, and we're going to start putting AGL to it. There's 1 quart. Usually it's just a little shy of 2 quarts is what they hold, so rule of thumb. At 20 bucks a quart, I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't give this stuff away. Now we're gonna do this. You notice I raised the funnel up a little bit so I can see the bottom of the threads. And I'm gonna pour this in until I see fluid come out the fill hole here. Right there it comes. Okay, so we used about this one, about 3/4 of a bottle of fluid. Now we're going to pull it out and you'll see the fluid run out. Right there it is. You can hear it running, dripping into the pan. So now I'm going to go ahead and install the plug. Now the differentials are technically all serviced. The fluid's been changed in the front and the rear. So this unit here, we've already discussed it. It's going to be about every 1.5 years, or roughly, that we do it. Only because the amount of use it gets. It only has a little less than 800 miles on it. So, and it's a 22. So just like that. And we're going to go ahead and clean it. When I get done here, we'll pull it out in the driveway here and we'll hose it off and get all the crap off underneath the frame. So it's just sitting there dripping all the time. Just like that, we got the differentials done. Next we're going to do the engine oil and the filter. Then we've already looked at the air cleaner. We're most likely going to pull it and just clean it off, clean it out. Alright. Whenever you're draining these oils, it actually helps. Let's take the fill cap off, stick it right there or in an area that you won't lose it. We'll pull the dipstick level as well. It just helps it drain better. We'll pull the dipstick level oil, you know, the dipstick out of it, what I'm trying to say. Then now I'm going to go underneath there and drain it. And when it's done draining, because this has been sitting in here, this oil filter should drain into the block. So when we take it off, there shouldn't be a whole lot of oil coming out onto the chassis. I don't know. I bought the new ones because that light is hot. All right. Go underneath here now. Pull the drain plug. I can't really show you where the drain plug is. I can kind of point it out. It's right here and about the middle of the frame. It's right about there, straight up. And it's the same type plug as the differentials, basically. In fact, And the reason I'm doing this with the machine set in levels for obvious reasons is I want everything level, so I want to make sure that all the fluids are filled. We can check it. Everything is on an even keel. It's a little harder to do this way than jacking it up and doing it, but it's better. It's more accurate. And right now I am getting fluid out of the rear end dripping off onto the floor, but that's why when we get done we'll take it outside and hose it off. My problem right now is I gotta get a different damn wrench. So this takes probably when you pull the drain plug off, there's this gasket. You'll get a new one in the kit in a plastic bag. Don't reuse this, use a new one. And this is drain plug. And I was misspoken. There's no magnet on the engine. It's only on the gear cases. So we're gonna let her drain, and we'll get back with you because there's no sense in watching us watch it drain oil. Hi there, this is Trailrider. Our next step, we've already done the differentials, and behind the scenes we checked the air pressure in the tires, which they needed air, and we started to drain the oil. Well, the oil's drained, and you can see sometimes it gets messy. Nothing we can do about it. So we're going to do the oil and filter on the engine. Then we're going to clean the air filter. Then we're going to pull this thing outside. I won't do that on camera. We're just going to clean up the chassis, make sure all the oil's off underneath it so it's not dripping all over the place. Then we'll be complete. So we'll get back with you in a few. So hang tight. Okay, when you drain the oil and reinstall your plug, make darn sure you put that gasket on there. Replace that gasket. They'll give you a new one with a kit. I mean, if you got down to it in an emergency, you could reuse the old one, but why do that when you give you one with a kit? So we're going to reinstall the drain plug, then we're going to go ahead and fill the crankcase and put the oil filter on it. Then I'll just wipe it down a little bit. Then at that point the engine part will be done. Then we're just going to do a service of the air filter. We're not necessarily going to replace it. We did get a replacement, but we're just going to blow it out and clean it up and put it back in because it's not all that terrible. So the thing's only got 700, less than 800 miles on it. So we're going to do that. So for now I'm going to go underneath here and reinstall the oil plug. It's something you're going to have to figure out and feel around for. It's towards the middle of the back of the chassis, right directly underneath the engine is where it sits at. So I'm going to shove the oil pan out of my way because it's in the way now, and we'll go ahead and I'll do that. So we'll get back with you rather than bore you with me putting the oil plug in. Okay, when you drain the oil and reinstall your plug, make darn sure you put that gasket on there. Replace that gasket. They'll give you a new one with a kit. I mean, if you got down to it in an emergency, you could reuse the old one, but why do that when you give you one with a kit? So we're going to reinstall the drain plug, then we're going to go ahead and fill the crankcase and put the oil filter on it. Then I'll just wipe it down a little bit. Then at that point the engine part will be done. Then we're just going to do a service of the air filter. We're not necessarily going to replace it. We did get a replacement, but we're just going to blow it out and clean it up and put it back in because it's not all that terrible. So the thing's only got 700, less than 800 miles on it. So we're going to do that. So for now I'm going to go underneath here and reinstall the oil plug. It's something you're going to have to figure out and feel around for. It's towards the middle of the back of the chassis, right directly underneath the engine is where it sits at. So I'm going to shove the oil pan out of my way because it's in the way now, and we'll go ahead and I'll do that. So we'll get back with you rather than bore you with me putting the oil plug in. Okay, my assistant has already lubed up the filter. I don't fill them up. The engine's been ran. It's got oil in the rod and main bearings, and it doesn't run that long without oil, so when you fire it up. So we're going to go ahead and screw the filter on. We're going to leave the dipstick out. Just like that. Use a tool on it if you need to, but don't over tighten them, because it just makes it harder for the next time. This is how you can tell if you're really good. And our final quart. Usually 2 quarts will take care of it. Yeah, you can get creative, use a dipstick. I mean a dipstick, a funnel if you like. There we go, 2 quarts. And then we'll put the cap on. Then we'll grab our old dipstick, wipe her down so we can get a reading. And quite honestly, you screw them in or screw them out. Polaris says just stick them in the hole like that and pull it out. And boom, we're right where we need to be. So when you screw it in, it'll be right on the mark, money. So that's how they do it. If you take it, get it serviced somewhere, they don't screw them in. If you screw it in, it'll be right, like when I did that, allowing for the difference in threads. When I screw it in, I can actually show you. We screwed it in. Now I'll pull it out. And you can see right there, it shows that it's full. So just like that. And if you notice, I got a little oil running down the case here. We're gonna go around. We'll just wipe her down, clean her up. Make sure you put this in here. So the engine should be good. We'll fire it up and we'll double check it, make sure it's not leaking. Then at that point, we just got to do the air filter, wipe out the air box, and it's all set for the rest of the time up here. Just like that. Alright, we'll get with you on the next part. Next part is just unscrew. Okay, we were going to pull the air filter, but look at it. That thing looks like brand new. So we're just going to leave it alone. No sense in pulling off, blowing off, cleaning off. So at this point, our maintenance is done on the thing. There's just going to be some cleanup stuff. So once we get all that done, it's just riding. I don't want to bore you with cleaning up the chassis and getting the oil from drips. Clean up the oil that spillage you got in the chassis. So anyway, we'll see you on our next video. This is Trailrider 570 saying, as always, goodbye and God bless for now. And we'll see you on the trails. Bye bye for now.